Welcome back to another Movies with Andy. Today we're going to be talking about The Flash.
So you're saying you could travel back in time?
But Bruce, I can fix things. I could save people. I could save my mom. I could save your parents.
The Flash stars Ezra Miller. After realizing that he can go back in time to save his mom, he changes his history and the universe forever. Or can he fix it? So this movie was actually one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I was really excited to watch this movie even though I haven't really liked past DC films. And I was really excited for this film because we heard James Gunn say that this was a complete reboot to the DC universe. And I love the Flashpoint storyline and I was super excited to see it in live action form. But first, let me talk about the good of this film. The first good thing that I want to start talking about is the cameos that this film actually has. It has way more cameos and way more surprises than I actually thought. Yes, they might have been short cameos, but it was nice to see them on the big screen. And if you're a fan of the DC films and the films that were supposed to be made, you're gonna love one of these cameos. What I also love is some of the emotional scenes Ezra Miller actually had to do. You felt really bad for him for some of the decisions that he had to make. Something else that I thought was really good was some of the humor. Some of the humor was actually really funny, especially his interaction with his other self. There were some jokes, of course, that didn't really land, but most of the time they were kind of funny. And also, the two big standouts of this film were Michael Keaton and Sasha Calle as Batman and Supergirl. Michael Keaton reprised his role as Batman and did an amazing job. And it was so amazing to actually see him in action and hear the music while he's taking down bad guys. And of course, he says some of the quotes from past films like, "I'm Batman, and let's get nuts." It was really awesome to see. And if you know anything about the Flashpoint story, you'll know that Superman actually never landed in Kansas. He was actually taken by the government and held captive and also got studied on a lot. But in this film, instead of that happening to Superman, we actually get Supergirl. And I thought Sasha did an amazing job as Supergirl. You saw her having to control her powers a little bit since she's never actually had to use them. And she actually got sent with Superman to be able to protect him as he grows up. But no spoilers, so you're gonna have to find out what happens with that. Also, Michael Shannon did an amazing job as Zod. It was just great to see him reprise his role from Man of Steel. And now, unfortunately, the negatives of this film. Again, I know I'm gonna repeat myself, but the CGI was just really bad in this film. And the editing was actually really choppy. There were sometimes I actually got confused or I was looking at it and was like, what just happened? And there was very obvious times when Ezra Miller's just standing there alone, but for whatever reason, they put a 3D modeling of his face over his face. I don't know if they did that for ADR purposes or I don't know what their thoughts were with actually doing that. But there were a good amount of scenes where I felt like I could tell that the actors just were not in the same room. And just like I said, a lot of the CGI just was not good at all. Also, I felt like the movie was a little predictable. And I mean that because there was supposed to be a little twist at the end, but I feel like I kind of figured it out like midway through the film. Also, within that twist at the end of the film, I feel like it kind of got resolved really quickly. And I wish they would have expanded a little bit more on that. Also, a lot of the action sequences, I feel like Flash didn't do too much. And I know he's not a fighter, but I feel like he can do a lot more than just disarm bad guys. Also, a little bit of breaking news. The director of the Flash film is actually going to be directing the new Batman the Brave and the Bold. So I'm really interested to see what he'll do with that film. There is one after credit scene in the Flash film. So now the real question, would I go watch this movie in the theaters again? Unfortunately, probably not. I'll actually wait for it to come out on a streaming service. There were a lot of great ideas and I can't wait to see where the DCU goes from here. And I feel like this movie could have been so much better with how good the Flashpoint storyline actually is. And if you haven't seen Flashpoint Paradox, which is an animated version of the comic book story, do yourself a favor and go watch that movie right away. So let me know, did you really like this Flash film? Is Ezra Miller the best live action Flash that we've gotten so far? And are you excited to see where DCU goes from here? Let me know down below. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for new movie reviews every week.